Yeah.
But it was Ghanaian drill. That shit go hard. I don't know if you guys have ever heard or seen.
I'm actually Ghanaian, so yes.
So you're familiar.
Okay.
So you're familiar.
Yeah. I can't tell you any artists, but it does go hard.
I found a random video on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, this is so hard. And then I'm like, okay, let me go find this on Spotify. I just found a random Ghanaian drill playlist on Spotify.
Yeah.
It did the thing. I couldn't tell you who's who or what they're saying. But it was
you
hard.
felt it.
It was hard. I felt it.
That's it. As long as you feel it.
Yeah.
No, honestly, speaking of drill, though.
Let's go.
Anybody, feel free to jump on. I'm not ready.
I was about to say, feel free to drop Hot 8, Hot 16. Hey.
Still can't believe we made Sticks and Shem.
we had a whole beef.
Like it was almost as if like I paid them. And, I did shit in the background, but I swear to God, that shit was authentic as fuck. I'm still so proud. That's my most proud pod moment ever. More than anything.
Yeah, that's it.
Watching Shem like spend his time in the stew. Record a back-to-back this at Sticks was like the most amazing thing.
I love it. I love it. Oh man, Puppet Master.
Man, Patrick, whenever you're ready, please write some bars down. Maybe it's like when we're back together.
We're back together, I need like to feel the energy, and we'll do this.
Okay. Battle bars. So we go back, or do we go on like some Styles PJ to Kiss shit?
That's it. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Man them. It's not with a hype thing. A war.
The world general speaking.
We here, man. We here. We made it through another week. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Welcome back. It's been a minute. It's also your boy here.
Shop like Shaq. You waste you.
Very special guest. And like I say that just because like when you don't see the conversations that happen, but there's like a lot of them that do. Like we've been talking about having, like, Sandie, you don't know. We've been talking about having on the pod since like January probably.
That's crazy.
Facts.
Like literally since like January.
I hope I'm a good guest.
Oh shit.
God damn. Too much pressure.
So we have from the Dishes and Dimes podcast, which I just dubbed like the Wu-Tang Clan podcast. We have Sandie here. We really appreciate you joining us on this week.
Thank you.
I love how you did like the LeBron. I just won my second ring. Like,
yeah, you know what it is. Yes.
How have you been? How's life been in the last little bit? The pandemic podding and all that. You just told me that you basically started in February 2020, which is nuts because I feel like you guys have been around forever. Yeah.
No. I mean, first off, this week's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know.
we'll get into all of that.
Yeah.
We started this pod a little over a year ago, and we've grown in a crazy way. You couldn't have told me when we started that that's where we would be right now. It's been nuts. It's been a crazy journey, like going to Summer League this summer, and we're with Basketball News Network, and I'm yelling at Perk on Spaces. Like it's just
man.
I don't even know what to tell you.
Someone's got to yell at Perk.
What's funny about Perk is I feel like he panders to Raptors Twitter. I don't know if you feel the same. Sometimes.
Yes, no, I agree with that, but I don't mind it. I feel like he just
says shit for the retweets, and I don't mind it. And I
don't mind it. I won't be mad. But I just feel like he's not the person that you want co-signing your team, right? Like, I don't want Kendrick Perkins telling me that Pascal is the next coming of whatever. Like, I don't want to hear it.
I've been working on my Perk accent too.
Let's hear it.
Let me hear it.
Back Kawhi Leonard, he's a heck of a player. But let me tell you something, the anchor of that whole basketball team that won the championship down in 2019 in Toronto up in Canada is Kyle Lowry. That guy is a motor. He's a bulldog. He's a force offensively, defensively. Did I kill it?
Yo, that's
actually pretty
actually
good.
really good.
I wasn't expecting that. That's actually really good.
Yo, Shaq's low-key in the wrong career.
Bro, what?
Voice actor.
You should be a voice actor. Like, what the hell's going on here?
I'm working on it. I'm gonna be on Fiverr just now. So what I know you've done your share, and I mean I say that because I've seen a couple of the videos of you talking about the origin of Dishes and Dimes.
Yeah.
But could you please, for the 18,000th time, for the one person for some strange reason that's been on Mars and has no idea who you guys are and what you guys do, tell them how this came to be and like what how big was the operation? Like I'm just very curious on top of I'm curious too.
I mean, the operation wasn't that big, to be honest. Literally, it just started off a tweet. Like it must have been like December 2019. I was listening to some random Raptors podcast, and I'm like, there's a lot of men. And I was looking around Raptors Twitter, and I'm like, there's a lot of women here, and I never hear them talk about the Raptors. So I just put out a random tweet saying something along the lines of, I would love to hear more women on Raptors Twitter. Like, we're brilliant, we're funny. We dominate Raptors Twitter. So I don't understand why we're not hearing these voices. And I kind of just put it out there. The tweet kind of went semi-viral. And I initially didn't think I was going to be a part of it. It was just more so like encouraging other women to maybe jump on a pod that I can listen to. Right. And then my friend was like, what the hell? Like, why are you you know about the Raptors? You love the Raptors. It's a fan pod. Why don't you just jump on? I'm like, okay.
Do you have a creative background, or was this completely out of your...
Completely out of my wheelhouse. Like, this was not... Wow. Like, first of all, I'm very shy. Second of all, I'm very shy talking in front of people. And then third of all, like, at the time, I wasn't totally secure in my opinions about the Raptors. So it was just... why the fuck am I starting a podcast? Right. And I decided to do it anyway. So I hit up the people that I was very intentional about who I asked to jump on, because I think all the women that I asked were like brilliant and smart and had their own platforms. And I was very intentional about that. And they agreed to do it. And we just kind of came together, and we hadn't even met in person yet. Like, wow. We didn't really have any rapport except for what we had on the timeline. It just happened to
Twitter,
gel.
Twitter relationship.
Twitter brought us together.
You guys
Twitter brings people together.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And a year later, and those are my sisters, and we have this amazing brand together. So,
Wow. How many people co-host with you? Just for those who don't.
7 now.
7. So on any given episode, how many people can we expect?
Typically it'll be 2 to 3.
Okay.
If it's a bigger pod, more of us will jump on. But for the most part, we try to keep it 2 to 3 people at a given time. Just because 7 is a lot to be listening to.
A lot of voices.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Even having 4, like we've done 4 at one point, or even like 5, I think at one point.
We've done 5. We've done probably 6 most.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but you need to be in person to actually like execute that. I feel like it just like 3 is easy to go 1, 2, 3,
right?
2, 3, 4. If you all know what you're doing, that makes sense. But when you start in, like it can get crazy.
For sure.
But like I love that you guys kind of like, how do you guys figure out who's going to be on what, or does that help with like the flexibility with everybody's schedules and stuff?
Yeah, the flexibility.
I know this is a lot.
It definitely helps, like, because, we all have our, sorry, my battery's about to die. Let me make sure that does not happen.
Well, we just lost.
Right? Technical difficulties.
Let's not. Technical difficulties, guys. So, yeah, no, it definitely helps with the flexibility of things, right? We all have our lives. This isn't our careers, at least not yet. God willing. Yeah. So we, if we have something coming up, or we have to do something, or someone's schedule changes and can't be on the pod, we're able to kind of, mix and match, and it works out. So that definitely helps. But I think we do try to schedule it in such a way, like a month in advance, so people know when they're supposed to be recording, and if they need to change the dates, they can. And we just make it work.
That's wicked.
Nice. So what for you? Just because I shared one of my most proud moments was basically Shem ethering sticks. I want to know what one of your proud moments was. Was it you going at Perk? Was that one of them?
I don't know if that was a proud moment. Look, like I don't want to, cuss off some black man about some racist ass white woman. That's not
Fair.
That's not fun for me, right?
Fair.
But a moment that I did think was absolutely great. Kyle Lowry acknowledged us on Oppressor, and we were just like, holy shit, like we made it. That was like a super proud moment where he actually said the brand name and we're like, okay, this could actually become a thing. Like we're credentialed. Getting credentialed was pretty big because we're the only Raptors pod that's been credentialed. It's
not an easy process. I know that.
It's not. Apparently, they told us that they ignore pod requests all the time, and so it was. That's a proud moment for us for sure.
Yeah, that's wicked. You mentioned something about I don't know. Can we talk about that? What's happening in the summer?
Ooh, Summer League. Yeah. We could talk a little bit about Summer League. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what's happening? Yeah,
you said there's gonna be some coverage there or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna be going down the Summer League. We have a couple of things planned. I don't want to say too much, but we are hoping to be able to interact with some players and network a little bit and kind of broaden our audience. Of course, like we're a Raptors podcast, so primarily our base is here in Canada, but we're hoping that we can spread the gospel stateside, and Summer League will help us do that. So we're super excited. It's our first Summer League together. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Awesome. So like you alluded a little bit to the going back and forth with Perk about like some racist comments or whatever. I think like I've been just steadily, just because life is crazy, trying to piece together what's been going on in the timeline of when things have happened with Rachel Nichols. And then like I've been just trying to piece it together. So I don't know if one of you guys want to open up. I might even just leave it to you, Sandie, if you want to open up the conversation and just set the scene for like what happened. What was the initial thing that happened? And I'll play a little bit of the clip of what she said.
Yeah, of course. So essentially this happened last year. She was having a conversation. I always forget the guy's name. I think it's Alex. Like he works with LeBron and Clutch. And essentially in this conversation, for some context, it was in the middle of the BLM movement. They were in the bubble. I believe the Bucks had just walked off because someone else had just gotten shot. So that's the context of which this conversation is happening. Yeah. And so they were talking about Maria Taylor, a Black woman in the industry who would potentially get to host for the finals. And Rachel was upset because she felt that if she was able to get this opportunity, she would get more jobs moving forward. And essentially, because, she's white, white privilege, and you want to hold on to it, she essentially was like, she wasn't willing to allow her to get these opportunities, because if she did, then that would open the door for her to have more opportunity. And essentially she questioned whether she was getting these opportunities because of merit or if it was a diversity hire. And that's a little bit of the context of the conversation that was had.
That's wild. I didn't know that like this conversation was then, and that's even more wild.
Yeah.
Let me play a little bit of what Miss Rachel Nichols said.
Like 2 in the afternoon, like 3 days from now, you're gonna text me like the perfect person. Yeah. But that's it. Like that's the average. Yeah.
It's like you could frame it almost like you could actually generate $1 million conversation about how it's, just so very white male for then in turn two women with each other to compete over the one spot that they're banging over. That's like a broader conversation about all the spots that should be under consideration.
There isn't just one seat at the table for a minority of whichever version this week we're trying to please.
If you think about it, this is precisely the problem we've been talking about for a long time. This is white men. It is an example of like one black person or you don't get to have a black woman in a prominent spot and feel like, okay, the hard work is done.
We're done.
And you certainly don't get to say, okay, we have a white woman, we have a woman in a critical seat. And now that we're going to put a black woman in that case, the question is, where are the other seats that white males are in? That should be a consideration.
I mean, that's just like an excerpt of a very longer conversation. It does start with her, like them basically saying that they're tired of the whole Black Lives Matter, and then also what was it? It was also the Me Too.
It was Me Too. So so that gentleman he spoke about that and said he has nothing left to give. Like basically,
he's a spokesperson for LeBron James. Adam, I can't remember the last name. Adam Mendelsohn.
Mendelsohn. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
But what was wild to me about that situation with Rachel, I don't know if it was in that clip or if it's a separate clip that that was circulating, but the fact that like she acknowledges that it's not, she says basically she supports. She starts off by saying, essentially she's an ally, whatever, but then gets into the fact that, well, not if she's coming from my spot. Not if it's going to affect.
So when it's convenient and when it doesn't have to affect me,
right? And then, and then she gets at ESPN, which is not blameless in this. I don't think we can forget that, but she does call out ESPN for trying to essentially right their wrongs by not having enough diversity in the first place. Which I do agree with her on that, but the way she went about her message was completely wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think the problem, and again, like ESPN is not blameless in this whole situation. It's very intentional that they only hire one or two women for any particular spot. And you have these women pit against each other for these opportunities. That's totally valid. But I think where it becomes less of an issue of ESPN's hiring process and it becomes an issue of Rachel's racial bias is when she insinuates that Maria Taylor would get the position because of
literally just to fill a box
quota,
or whatever,
right?
To be
that's where the problem comes in, because Maria is very qualified for the position, maybe even more qualified than Rachel is, to be honest. She's played the game. She's like in that regard, she deserves to be there. Like you don't get to the point where ESPN's considering you, especially as a dark-skinned Black woman, if you don't fill every single box plus some. And that's just the be-all, end-all. You're not allowed to be mediocre. Right? So for me, it was very insulting. And like, she had a point there. Like ESPN, they know that they have issues with diversity. They're very intentional about only hiring one woman at a time for any particular position. And as a white woman, she understands the issues with the industry, right? From the standpoint of sexism. But where she doesn't seem to understand is the double negative of being Black and a woman is not giving you a leg up in the industry. Like it's insulting to insist that you're getting a leg up.
Advantage by being...
You have an advantage by being a Black woman. Like, are you out of your mind? So that's where it becomes less of an issue about ESPN and more of an issue about Rachel's racism.
Yeah, and what like amazed me about this is this broke, I think, like over the weekend or beginning of the week, right? And I'm thinking this is something current. I did not realize this happened over a year ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they've been sitting on this for so long. It wasn't until I think the New York Times broke the story.
Yep.
So throughout this whole year, we're all watching the jump, laughing and having a good time with it, and kikiing with her, and seeing her all over the place. And it's like, oh, wait a sec, these discussions have been happening behind closed doors for a year.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I have a hard time. Like I haven't watched the jump this week except for the day after, and I know we'll get into it. But
I mean, let's play that. I want to play her apology in that moment where, it's the jump. It's a clip of basically her, Perk, and Richard Jefferson. My issue before we even get into it, and we can talk about it after we play it, was the fact that I felt like those guys they just felt like they had to talk for her. And why are they more outspoken about everything than she is? This is her situation, not these two black men. But,
oh, goodness.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
School is don't be the story. And I don't plan to break that rule today or distract from a fantastic finals. But I also don't want to let this moment pass without saying how much I respect, how much I value our colleagues here at ESPN, how deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
Well, Rachel, I want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting responsibility for your actions. As someone that has known you for a long time, being around you, you have treated me with the utmost respect, and you always made me feel comfortable in your presence. And I know your heart, great person, great individual. I also know Maria Taylor, great person as well, very, very talented, hardworking, and I feel like she also deserves every opportunity that is presented her way. My only hope is that we have a commitment overall to support each other through this process and continue to.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
So, to somebody that might not understand what is problematic with Perk coming through the way that he just did, and Richard Jefferson eventually does as well, I believe.
Yes, he does.
What's problematic with this? Like, just for the people that don't get it.
They're using him as a buffer, right? It's the I have a black friend and therefore I'm not racist argument, right?
Right.
He spoke longer than she did, and she was apologizing for her racism.
Yeah.
Not only that, he stood up for her and said, well, you've been great to me individually as a person. Mind you, you're a former NBA player, an NBA champ. She has a reason to be nice to you. She has a reason to help you, right? It helps her career. Dude. You're not some random, can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not some random nigga on the street, right? You're not like some lowly, broke ass nigga on the street. You're a rich, famous man that's going to help advance her career. So if she's being nice to you and she's supporting you, she's doing it for
a relationship that works for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? And so for me, I think her true allyship shows when you don't get anything out of it, right? Like if she would have supported Maria in that moment, that's allyship, right? Because she's losing something in order to make sure that a black woman or black person gains.
Yep.
That's allyship. Not when you're performing, not when you're saying Black Lives Matter on camera for your stupid segments.
Yeah.
Right? And so for me, what was problematic about that? Perk didn't have to say anything. He could have just shut the fuck up. He could have just said, you know what? I think this is an incredibly important moment. You need to apologize. I'm going to step back and let you say what you need to say. He could have left it at that. You don't go, oh, Rachel's always been great to me. She's done great work, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and she's also a racist ass bitch.
Yeah.
Like, point blank, period.
Yeah.
And it really upset me that you let ESPN use you like this. And then when we speak on it, all you have to say is, oh, well, the only person that I'm going to put my neck out for is my wife that I've known since I was in 9th grade. So then you're closing the door for the rest of us who are trying to get into the industry. And why should I support you? For what? How does it benefit us as a whole?
Yeah. And that's a problem right there. Like the fact that it was these two black men stuck in the middle, having to choose between supporting
not just two black men, by the way. Let's just reiterate: there are two NBA players, NBA champions.
Yeah.
They have power, right? You're not just some random person. You have power. If you speak up and you say, ESPN, what you're doing is wrong, they're way more likely to listen to you than some random,
for sure,
analyst.
For sure.
Let's be honest, right?
No, for sure. For sure. So, for me, it just like, it just got back to the point that I've been seeing on social media throughout this whole movement is just the black man not supporting the black woman. And that kind of, and I hate seeing that. I absolutely hate seeing that. And it just like, here we go again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These two guys who, like you said, could have taken a stand, could have actually supported Maria in that situation and called out all of the racism that's happening, all of the bias and prejudice that's happening, but they didn't.
It's crazy for me to see like somebody like Perk and these guys just like stand by her with what she said. I get it that she might be your colleague. She might be somebody that you're all chummy with or whatever. But like for her to hear somebody that you know talk about race at the time that she was talking about it in is wild. Like this is
wild.
White guilt all-time high.
Right.
All-time high. Yeah. For you to be like, oh, people are just checking boxes and at this time, that's just like you're really just showing your character, I feel.
Yeah.
That's what you truly feel, right? That's what you truly feel. When the doors are closed and there's no black people to check you, that's how you feel. And like, I think one thing that we need to point out is that somebody did lose their job. The person that leaked she's a black woman, Kayla Johnson, lost her job, right? Yeah. And she's the only one that's been reprehended through this whole situation.
Was she like in the room and low-key recording this? Is that what happened?
So no. I think there was a device that was recording it. I think it was like
I think it was Rachel's device from what I read.
Yeah, from The Jump or something that was recording it. And then she saw the footage and she let Maria know and it got leaked and then she lost her job.
Yeah. So many people at ESPN knew about this, including like Adrian Wojnarowski, who actually came out and spoke out against it on the situation. But it went out, like, I don't know how far wide in the company, but it was pretty much a lot of people in the company knew about this situation. And only one person.
That is wild. I can't imagine a lot of people just being complicit or just like closing their ears to hearing this shit. And then it just eventually, because of how long it took for this to become, it didn't even have to become public, but at least to a point where like ESPN reprimanded her for it.
Right. Yeah. And they still haven't reprimanded. Like they just, I mean, yeah.
They just remove her from the,
took her off the finals. But I think that was in part Rachel's doing because out of sight, out of mind, right? You take her away for, a couple of games. We're not going to see her until, a couple months from now. And then next season she pops back up and we forget this ever happened, right?
I mean,
so
she's still hosting the job.
Yeah.
She's still hosting the job every day, right?
Exactly.
So. Well, for those who want a little bit more details on Rachel Nichols, we have Jalen Rose's daughter here with a beautiful TikTok to give you a little bit more background about Rachel Nichols and her privilege.
Talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right? You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement, about your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage.
There we go.
And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Damn. Subpar. Boring. Not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time.
Damn. We need to drop the ether beat on that. Damn.
I love that video. I love it.
I mean, there was no lies. This was,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Facts.
There's nothing else to say after that.
I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Party done. What do you think about the finals, anyways? This is a very interesting one. We got Milwaukee, we got Phoenix. Nobody really be winning championships. Like which team did Phoenix has never won one, right?
Phoenix has never won.
No, Phoenix has never won.
And the last time Milwaukee did was like in the 60s or
70s, 60s. Yeah. It's been a while.
Lou Alcindor, I think, was there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
What do we think about these finals so far? It's 2-0 for Phoenix.
I feel like Phoenix has a little bit of what we call magic. Mm-hmm. You know when the Raptors beat the Bucks and you're like, wait, we actually have a shot at this. I feel like that for Phoenix, right? Like everything's kind of falling into place for them. Everybody's injured.
Storyline writing itself.
Yeah, it's writing itself for them. Chris Paul finally has the opportunity to taste a ring. I think it's going to happen for them. Phoenix in particular, they're great in the sense that they work for every basket. They're passing at every, like they'll work out all 20 seconds. Yes, with the pass. When it finally got to Aiden and that was spectacular. And I think that's what the team does, right? Yeah. I don't want to say that the Bucks are out. I just don't trust Chris Middleton as the second choice. Like
this is
second option. I don't think I don't. And then Drew hasn't looked very good either. Like in the last game, he was horrible. So Giannis is dropping 42 and they're still losing. Like he's doing on a bum.
To me, I look at Giannis and I feel like he's a guy, and not even because Giannis is the motor on that team. He's the guy that like can blow open a game.
Right.
If that shit doesn't happen early, I don't really trust them to win because they're not closing anything.
Right. No. And I don't
unless Chris Middleton comes through.
Right. But that's exactly how I feel about it. I don't necessarily think Giannis has to be a closer.
He doesn't have to be a closer.
He doesn't have to be a closer. He just needs somebody who can be that closer. And I don't know that Chris Middleton has it.
I don't think that the coaching. I don't think
that too. The adjustments.
Coach Bud doesn't make adjustments at all.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%.
Like yesterday, you watched that their defensive lapses were prevalent throughout the game, and they didn't do anything to change it. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's a sweep, but I'm saying Suns in 5.
I agree with that. Suns in 5.
Suns in 5. Yeah, I said before we even got to 2-zip, I said Suns in 5 or 6, where it's like one of that fake 6.
They
just steal one of those games they're not supposed to, and the Suns are like, no problem, we'll win the next one. That's fine. I feel like might be the reality of it, but I'm interested just to see what a championship Suns team looks like when we are talking in the middle of next season. The way that people are talking about this Suns team and stuff, because I don't know if they're gonna if it's going to be the same next year. Like, I don't know if we can have those high expectations next year and the next couple years or whatever. But
I think Devin's a legit, if he's not already a superstar, a star,
that's a fact.
He's a star, right? And he's only going to get better. So I think it'll be interesting to see where they land next year. I think Aiden's going to get better. I think Devin's going to get better. I didn't think Payne would be.
I thought he just was going to come through with the new TikTok dance moves every season. That's all I expected him to come through with.
Yeah.
Show me the whoa, show me everything, and that was it.
I can't say that they're not going to. I think they're going to be a good team, and I think the young players are just going to continue to develop. I also do think that we need to take into consideration that the Nets are going to be, they're going to have a couple. They're not going to be disbanded, but I think they're not going to break up. I think they know that they could get a ring very easily if they're healthy. So they're going to stay together. And they're making the right coaching decisions there with picking up certain assistant coaches. So the Warriors, they're always in the picture.
Klay Thompson coming back. Yeah.
We have a top 4 pick.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting as well. LeBron is LeBron. He's never out of the equation. So next season's actually going to be very interesting, but I do think that the Suns aren't a fluke. I think they're legit a good team. So.
Yeah, so their stock was rising before this, right? So
yeah,
I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about a Raptors 2021-2022 season, because like there's so much optimism here, and it can go in so many different ways. This could be one of those where it's just like it's exciting, but we don't necessarily do much, or it's like go right back to contending, or be in the middle of like kind of being competitive.
Right.
What do you expect?
I think we're going to be competitive. I think personally, last season was a little bit of a fluke. I think certain things just didn't work in our favor. We were in Tampa. They were practicing out of hotel ballrooms. They started the season out absolutely crap, and then when they started to get their groove, they beat the Nets, they beat Philly,
all the top teams.
Yeah, they beat all the top teams, and then they got hit with COVID, and like literally the whole team got hit with COVID. Yeah. So for me personally, I don't take much stock in this season. I do think that it was very smart for Masai to say there's no use in getting into the play-in. Let's just tank and get a pick, and we got a really good pick.
He said it.
And he was blunt about it. And I agree with him. Like, there's no need to, this team will fight to get into the play-in, but can this team really for what, right? Yeah. I think next season is going to be interesting in the sense that Pascal's injured, so he's not going to be back until like maybe November, December. But we do have a young prospect, and this particular draft year looks really, really good, really legit. So we may not be great next season, but I do think we're set up for the future. And that's what should be exciting people about the upcoming season. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Lowry. We still don't know if Masai is going to stay. So a lot of things are up in the air. But I think if you're looking at it big picture, I think we should be excited about what next season looks like. They're going to be in front of fans. We're going to get to see the Raptors the way that we expect them to play, and with a new young prospect that could potentially be great.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
I'm excited for it. We need them back home. We need the Raps back home. We need Jurassic Park. We need all that stuff just to happen again. Like, the city missed it. I know the players missed it for sure. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We want to give you some time to go, but before we let you go, is there anything additional on top of what you have already said in terms of what's coming with the summer league and blah, blah, blah? Do we have anything that we can look for with Additions and Dimes pod? Like, what do you guys have that's kind of low key under the tub that you can tell a friend?
Plug your ish.
Nobody listens to this at all, by the way.
Exactly. No one's going to hear this.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so, I mean, obviously our pod's been credentialed, so hopefully we get to do in-person interviews next season. So that's going to be really exciting, and the Raptors really want us to be ourselves. So hopefully we can bring a little bit of representation there and have a little bit of fun with the players. We do have a newsletter that's going to be coming out soon, fairly soon. We want to uplift people of color and women voices in sports. So if you have any articles or anything, if you're in high school, if you're in college, if you're considering getting into sports, we want to get your voices out there. So we're going to be starting that out pretty soon.
Amazing.
And just follow us on Dishes Dimes Pod on Twitter, on Instagram. We have a lot of things coming up, and we'd love to have you as part of our family.
No, for sure. That's amazing. No, we really appreciate you even joining us. Like, it's been great. Thank you for coming by, Sandie.
I appreciate you guys.
Definitely. Got to do it again.
Where can they find you?
Me specifically, Sandie Side Up on Instagram. I don't be doing shit on there. If you want to follow me,
you're more of a Twitter personality, though.
Yes. Follow me on Twitter. Same on Sandie Side Up. And let's chop it up. Thank you guys for having me, by the way. I really
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Definitely do this again.
For sure. Whenever you guys want, I'll be back.
Perfect. Done.
All right. Take care, guys.
Later, Sandie.
Bye.
Yes.
And there you have it.
Man, love it. Shout out to her one more time, man.
Yeah, shout out to Sandie.
Shout out to Sandie. The whole I'm calling them a collective. I know it's a podcast, but they're like a whole like you said, that's a gang right there. That's a squad.
No, they literally are the Wu-Tang of podcasts. All right, now that Sandie's gone, let's pay some bills, Patrick. Let them know what's going on with Mary Brown's. What's going on?
Yes. So as you guys know, we talked about the fact that this episode is powered by Mary's Brown Chicken, and we're truly excited to be partnering with them and the BGC Club to mention and promote BGC Club Day. That's happening on Wednesday, July 28th. So this day is all about promoting youth and kids and healthy living and just helping uplift our youth. You know, they're the future, right? So on this day, Wednesday, July 28th, if you buy a 2-piece meal from Mary Brown's, they're going to give $2 from every meal to the BGC Club of Canada. So make sure you go out there on that day, Wednesday, July 28th, buy your 2-piece meal, buy 6 of them, buy as many as you need, feed your family.
So wait, you said all people have to do is really just go to Mary Brown's Chicken on the day and just buy.
Yeah. Go in store, buy a 2-piece meal. Like I said, buy a bunch of them. For every meal that you buy, they're going to give $2 to the BGC
Club.
Yeah.
So what's great about that is it's a 2-piece. So a 2-piece means you can be self-serving and support yourself and support the kids. Or you can take it to the next level, like you're saying, is buy up a bunch of different 2-piece meals. So we know we're no stranger to Mary Brown's. We already know how they do it. So I think it's a no-brainer to be able to support an organization like the BGC Club that like is all about leadership and fostering relationships that just help set you up in life and get to the next level and prepare you for whatever your dreams are and get to achieving them. And I think it makes sense to buy a little Mary Brown's that's going to benefit you to benefit other people.
That's what I'm saying. Especially now. Come on. We know that kids have had it really hard throughout this pandemic. We all have.
Facts.
These kids, they've had in-person learning taken from them. They can't go outside and play with friends. They can't interact with, the way they used to. So the least we can do is really participate and give back a little bit to the next generation, right?
A lot of people haven't even seen kids all pandemic. If you don't have kids or have like kids in your immediate home, you're just like, what's a kid? So if you're sitting in your home and you're like, what's a kid? Here's how you can help those kids that you don't know. Just buy a 2-piece and them kids are gonna be good. Like you're gonna help out some kids and it's gonna go a long way. So what's the day called? It's BGC
BGC Club Day.
BGC Club Day.
GC Club Day. And that is on Wednesday, July 28th at all Mary Brown's locations in Canada. So we know we got listeners all over the place. We love y'all. So this is your time to shout out and support. So get out there July 28th, buy your 2-piece meal and support a great cause.
Yeah, for sure. And then show us that you did. Like we love that stuff.
Exactly.
Show us that you're eating Mary Brown's too.
Yeah. Post that. Tag us, tag Mary Brown's, tag the BGC Club of Canada. Let everyone know that you're supporting, man. Definitely get out there.
All right, now let's get back to the pod because I have something that's very connected to the consumption of deliciousness.
Yay.
It's a different type of deliciousness. We're not talking about food.
All right, fine.
You're as a guy who's planning a wedding, right?
Oh man.
Are you thinking cash bar or are you thinking open that thing?
Listen. When things were open, when we thought we could do what we wanted, I was about to have everyone just come and drink on me. I had it lined up, Shaq. I had it. I was thinking about you. I had it lined up.
What would Shaq accept when he's over here? How would he feel?
I had it lined up, but COVID came and snatched that up. So we gonna have to revisit that one. But open bars are the way to go.
Like a politician. You're like, I really was thinking about doing it. I had you in mind. COVID happened, but we're still thinking about it in the future.
We'll revisit this one in the next fiscal. Yeah.
Because that's a thing. I didn't realize it was a thing where like certain people like to me, I've been to maybe 1 cash bar, maybe 2 cash bar weddings. Some people, they've only been to 1 open bar.
Wow.
And that was a staggering discovery for me. Like I went for some colleague drinks, and one of my coworkers basically said like, when he got married, people in his family, they weren't used to open bars. So
it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah. So they were like, wait, you mean that I can have as many Heinekens as I want tonight?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, have a good time. Yeah. And he's just basically saying that like almost a decade later, like his wedding was a hit. Like it was just like, oh, and his wedding, open bar. I had as many Heinekens as I ever wanted. It was the best night I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Like, so I was just like, wait, what? I didn't know it was a rarity for some people to go to an open bar.
Not if you're Caribbean.
Oh yeah. How do you show up, Patrick, as a +1 to somebody else's wedding? Because I already have it down to a science because it's been passed on generations. By generations, I mean my dad has shown me the way.
I was about to say, I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. You show me how you show up.
All right. I actually have not been the +1 to a wedding yet, so that'd be new. No, I've always been the one that's had the +1. You know what I mean? So I've never actually been the +1. So I think you go along. You know, you're there. Either you're driving, or if it's open bar, you say, you know what, we're about to do this responsibly. We'll have a car service come and pick us up. That's why I said car service. You know, we try to be classy. So you go there, and you don't want to go for the bar right away. You want to pace yourself out here. You know what I mean? Let the family, let the familiar folks go to the bar first. Let them get it going, and then you slide over. Might make some small talk by the bar, get a little friendly, and then you start, kicking in the drinks. Am I close? Am I right?
Close. Yeah. For me, pull up. Whether you know if it's a cash bar or not, it's always good to pull up like this, because if it's an open bar and you're not part of the wedding party, you're gonna still have that like lull period between when they like leave the ceremony and then go to take pictures. So you're sitting there like sober and hungry, and you're like, what do I do? You pull up to the parking lot of the venue, pop the trunk.
Oh yeah.
Have a bottle, preferably something strong. Cups that look like this.
Yep. Solo cups.
And then you basically just you optional to add some like Coke, ice. Like you can go hard because we've done that before. Right. But I think it's always good to just have that ready just in case. You don't know what you're gonna go into.
So let me ask you this.
The worst to me, the worst situation is if I showed up to a wedding and then I found out it was a cash bar and then was like, yo, I didn't budget this. I gifted as if.
But hold on. You know this before you get there, though. You should know this.
No, there was one time. There was one time.
That's on you then. That's on you. But okay, let me ask you about this though. What about the flask at the wedding? Hit or miss? Necessary, right?
You know what it is? I've been to more like company Christmas parties than weddings.
Two different things, but you can't treat them the same. You
and so I'll come through with like the flask because you also don't know what your company does depending on where you at. Sometimes it's an open bar and they cap it.
Right. So my work does like the 2 free drinks. You get 2 free drink tickets.
Free drinks is so cute.
No, but so they say that, but then you always end up getting more because there's people who don't drink. There's people who don't want to drink.
And then there's the people that control the tickets and they're like, all right.
Yeah. That's when you got to make friends. That's how you make friends with them. You know what I mean? But I got to put you onto something.
Okay.
So I found this flask. I'm not saying the company name until, they give us some coin. But I found a flask that is foldable.
How do you fold a flask?
So the material, it's like almost like a Tetra Pak. Like think of like a Kool-Aid jammer. You remember those? Like that material. Yes. Yeah. So it's like that, but like you can fold that. So I was able to have this discreetly on my person in the breast pocket of the jacket.
So do you drink out of your pocket or do you like to?
No, you pull it out, but it's discreet. Okay. You want to be discreet. You know what I mean? You don't know where you're going to be.
What happens when you get like a crazy dap, like a hectic chest to chest?
No. But I'm saying it's not a bottle. Like it's not heavy, so no one feels that.
I know, but does it squeeze and just squirt out of the pocket? Well, you're like, my chest just exploded.
I'm exploding liquor. I'm exploding.
Don't mind Appleton. I'm Jamaican. Yeah.
Yeah. No. But no. You don't fill it up like. Come on, you don't get crazy here. You don't fill it up like like you're packing it. Yeah, you put a little bit in there, just enough to get you a little buzz. Bro, I'm telling you, the best flask I've had. That foldable flask. Invest in it.
Foldable flask.
I'm giving you hints, man. You're gonna need this. You're gonna want this. Check out any Winners, Home Sense, those places. When you go and they have them by the checkout lanes.
Foldable. Okay, those novelty ones. There's so many novelty flasks that I've thought about that were great ideas that I was like, don't really need it that bad. Yeah. Like I remember like back in the day, Urban Outfitters had like, it wasn't even for me. It was for my ex-girlfriend at the time. I was just like, hey, Urban Outfitters has these like this discreet thing where like you put liquor in it and it's like a fake pack of like tampons. And like they're like vials or something. Like so you take it out, you can just go like a little.
But then why are you drinking a tampon?
They're not actual tampons.
No, I know, but that would just the concept's weird. Then you're gonna be drinking it looks like you're drinking tampon.
You've gone too far. I showed you something great and you stomped all over it and said, make sense. You know what? No, it makes sense.
You don't put your mouth on that.
You're forgetting about the time when
it in your mouth.
You're just forgetting about the time period where we were going outside. So you were you were getting pat down by the security. Imagine your girl came through with her pack of tampons. And guess what? Patrick got nice because he didn't have to pay an extra $40 worth of shots that were stored in her person that really costed you about $15.
All right. You're right. I haven't been outside in over a year. I don't know what that's like now.
Yeah.
Soon.
Okay. Yeah, I trust you. And I'll that you're reminding me that I got to make sure that I bring my flask back out. I haven't had a flask in a minute.
I'm telling you, man, we about to be outside this summer.
Speaking of outside. It's funny. I didn't even think about what I was going to say next. Speaking of outside.
I take back your title, bro. You're not Segway King now.
Well, it's rotating. You saw the Soulja Boy and Lil Bow Wow versus. Tell me all about it.
We did.
Because the only thing I saw was that like Bow Wow and Romeo pieced up their fake beef.
Yeah.
Their decade-long fake beef or whatever that was. Yeah. Tell me what I missed.
So this might have been one of the funniest verses I've ever seen. I love Soulja Boy's energy. Like Soulja Boy's energy is on a whole nother level. This guy played the same song like 10 times, but hey, it's Soulja Boy. What are you going to do? So I love his energy. They brought out Lil Romeo, who compared himself to Kobe Bryant.
Wait.
Yeah.
Well, it's his bag. I'm surprised he didn't say Jordan.
No, because he was saying Bow Wow of their era. He said Bow Wow was Jordan and Soulja Boy was LeBron. So Lil Romeo then, he said as himself, he was the Kobe Bryant of their era. Yeah.
Stretch.
Mad stretch.
Understand? No, stretch, but I understand what he's trying to say. And it's not like era. I think you got to translate what they're saying to be like, yo, they're talking just about the Lils. They're not talking about hip hop. They're not talking about like
I understand
AZ and whoever else was popping.
I understand.
It's just the Lils. They beat Lil Sammy. Lil Sammy wasn't shit.
Lil Who else was in that era?
Lil
Fizz. Oh, that's B2K.
I'm just thinking about that Hardball song with all the Lils on it.
Oh man, good movie. But he's wild for that. You can't come out and say that, bro. Name me one Lil Romeo song. You can't. There you go. See, so he can't be Kobe. That's
You're right, because I can name a lot of Kobe moments.
Right? Exactly. But I will say, if you are like our age, our generation, this brought back all the feels of high school. This brought back all like from elementary school to high school to, you know, you're getting ready to hit the club era. Like this was that kind of vibe. So if you went to the Millennium Tour, if you missed the Millennium Tour, if you wanted to go to the Millennium Tour, if you checked out that Versus, you got the Millennium Tour. Like that's what it would feel like. Yeah. Brought out the velour tracksuits, the 4 XLTs, the what do you call it? The spray painted shirts, all that stuff was back in full force.
That's so nasty. Beads in your braids.
That was your lane, bro.
I never had beads in my braids.
Okay, I don't believe that.
No, I wanted them. I'll say that. I wanted them. I just never had it.
Let me ask you something though.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. And this is the perfect time because, you know, I'm a Segway king. I've been thinking about this for a minute. So we're now in a period of time where artists from the 2000s are starting to get their flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is there anyone that you think was disrespected in the 2000s that deserves their flowers now? Like if you look back at the game, you look back at hip hop, look back at rap music, R&B, who was disrespected then that you look back at it now, you're like, this person was a legend. Like they need more respect. Because I got a couple people in mind.
There's a lot of them. Chingy, Jaquan. And it's like, I only say that because their career fizzled because of some random bullshit that just didn't amount to nothing. And so their career just took a hit in a way where if that didn't happen, they would have probably been consistently making music potentially till today.
Right? Like, what about Ja Rule, bro? Like 50, I know.
Ja Rule gets enough flowers. He gets
I don't
flowers.
know, man. I don't know, man. Ja Rule does not get flowers. No. Because of Firefest.
You can go and do it. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like it.
What do you mean?
I just don't feel like giving Ja Rule flowers.
This guy's hating.
You
can't act like he wasn't Mr. Save a Song. This man was on every song for a period of time that went straight to the top of the charts.
I'm not opposed to Ja Rule. I just don't feel like he deserves flowers that he didn't receive.
All right. What about T-Pain?
T-Pain, I think he's getting the sympathy of like a lot of people nowadays. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh yeah, you know what? I think we was a little too harsh on auto-tune back in the day. We didn't see the vision. We didn't see the work you put in for it too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like T-Pain definitely, I feel bad for the guy because I felt like he still could have been putting out hits, man.
He could have been, but he put a lot. Like it wasn't like he stopped. I think his lull kind of like, I think he never really stopped because of people saying certain things. Like it was just he always existed. I think people kind of got tired of the fact that he was around a lot.
Fair. There was a T-Pain fatigue.
Yeah, you can't be featuring T-Pain on everything to the point where it's like Andy Samberg featuring T-Pain. You're like, what?
Was that I'm on a Boat?
Absolutely. It's the Boat one.
It's a good song. It's a good song, man. But I think I just want to give those artists their flowers, man. I feel like we're at a period of time where artists from the early 2000s, they need some love. They need to get respected. We need to show them some love because they paved the way for us, man. So I appreciate all of y'all. That's where I'm at with it.
Let me see here. I got a what I really wanted to talk about, why I brought up Soulja Boy, was this clip. It was just him up to his typical Soulja Boy antics. You tell me if you believe this is true.
Man, the first rapper with the iPhone.
Oh, what the fuck?
It was Crank. It was Crank that video shoot 2007. Steve Jobs and the Apple team came to. I was in a swimming pool doing the instruction of dance, showing the people how to do the dance. We was on set of the Crank that video. They came. They brought me the iPhone. They said
Steve Jobs himself came.
Steve Jobs. And Apple, the whole team said this is the first iPhone. Man, how the
you believe this one?
That
you full of shit or what?
I mean, it's something I could see happening though. Like, I kind of believe it. I don't know about Steve Jobs being there, but I do believe that Apple at the time would have gone to Soulja Boy, who was the hottest artist, hottest thing in pop culture at the time, is they're getting ready to launch their phone. That only makes good business sense. Like, why wouldn't they do that?
It makes sense. I just can't imagine Steve Jobs showing up himself.
That's what
also hand delivering this thing. Like,
it's like, here you go.
It's like
young Soulja. Yes,
like
Soulja Boy
was not giving out the first Xboxes to anybody. Nobody.
But that's
zero people. I don't think so.
That's fair. But this is Steve Jobs. They were being really innovative. They were working with a lot of artists. You got to keep in mind, Apple's always been a company
at that time.
But Apple's always been a company
at that time. Were they? I'm not challenging you, but I'm really just like curious because I don't recall them like working with artists like that till
they had the iPods, right? So they had all those music commercials.
The iPod, was that before the iPhone?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah?
Come on, it was. Man. Yeah. It's believable. It's believable.
Yeah, I half believe it. I almost don't know if it was Steve Jobs. Maybe he saw some dude in a turtleneck giving him the phone. And he was just like,
he's just like, yeah, Steve Jobs.
That's wild. Steve Jobs is here. He's, maybe he was lit and he was like, wow, the story just evolved into Steve Jobs hand delivered me an iPhone.
I mean, hey, isn't that how memories work over time? You just evolve them into whatever you want them to be.
Lies to memories.
Or did I just go galaxy brain on you? I don't know, man.
He was.
That's what. See, the producer knows. One of them. Who's that? Malik? Yeah, Malik knows what I'm talking about.
Lies to memories might be his dreams and nightmares.
Ooh, lies to memories. Yo, that's a good one.
Ain't this shit what you've been waiting for?
Oh man, yo, like that's a crazy topic. I don't know if I'm gonna get into that.
What?
I don't know if I'm gonna get like too out there with people.
What do you mean? What do you want to get into?
I've had those thoughts though. Like, you ever think about a moment in your life, like a memory, and you swear it's real, but it never actually happened.
And also, like, so I think I don't know if I've had it exactly like that. Maybe it's been somebody else's story that I've retold a billion times. To the point where like I now put myself in their situation, and now I'm like, wait, hold on, was I there or was that their shit? Like, I don't know what. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's definitely a scenario I've had.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I've never, I don't know, not to memory. Maybe I'm still full of shit and just like
that's all it is, man. You're still No, I definitely think those moments are real though, man. Like, I think over time we conjure up like fake memories. You know, like if you try to tell a story from when you were 5, 6, even 10, you're not going to remember it exactly, but you're going to add bits and pieces of what you think your life was like then to filter into that memory.
Did I actually work with like Ben Simmons and Giannis and Andre Drummond and Isaiah Thomas and Lonzo Ball together, or did I work with like Jamal McGlure and get confused?
Right? both tall and play basketball.
I mean, like, yeah, Jamal McGlure played for Jambo. It was crazy. Yeah, Jamal McGlure played for Jambo. It was crazy. Yeah, he's so tall. Like, he was tall as Giannis. Yeah, I played with Giannis. I worked with Jamal. Exactly.
That's exactly how it happens. Oh man, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Let me see if I got any final clips, because I got a few.
Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about.
Okay, here's a good one. It's from Rory and Maul's podcast that just started. Right. They've been doing numbers, they're doing well. We talked about that a few weeks back, like almost a month and a bit back. But they were talking about specifically, this is finally a moment where we get to hear Maul speak more than just saying, wow, that's crazy. So he's talking about, I mean, let me just let's let Maul say what he's got to say.
Girl that I dated, just strictly dated, wasn't a girlfriend or anything. We went out a couple of times, and she was at a restaurant that I had introduced her to, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm with this new guy I'm seeing. Like, you know, the place is still amazing. Thank you for putting me on." It was like that cool thing. I did this fly shit. I called and picked up the check.
Is that fly?
What?
Is that fly?
What?
Is that fly?
That is blasphemous.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. What?
That's not some fly ass shit.
Why are you doing that?
Because she appreciated you putting her on some shit. She called you while she was there.
But she was someone else.
Do some fly shit. Pick up
the
check. You got it. Pick it up for the man.
So I got it. Don't mean what?
You gotta son the man.
Oh, okay. That's next level. I wasn't thinking.
Is that like
that.
Is that a petty move if you still feel the girl?
See, now you're taking it to a level I wasn't even thinking of. He might be playing chess while that dude's playing checkers. I like that. I like that move. Okay, I give it to Maul. I take back what I said. Because if you feeling that girl and you play that power move, yeah, you're right. You sunned him. Like, how was he responding?
Yeah, but like, I can't imagine feeling that petty.
And that goes back to my point. Like, how did this end? Who hurt who? How did this end?
Maul doesn't hurt anybody. Nobody gets hurt after a Maul relationship. They just kind of like fizzle out and just stay friends all the time. That's the way he says it. But I don't know. Anybody that I might have even dated once.
Yeah.
I can't imagine even one. Like, if I dated you once or twice, why am I even picking up the check for you and your man? I don't know you that well.
Right.
We barely know each other. But if I really know you, why am I picking up the check? Because, like, if I really know, I don't know, man.
That's a wild one. That's a no for me, bro. Like, that's not happening. I'm sorry. Don't be leaning on me for your handout. Cool, you like the place I showed you, but nah. I'm not paying for it.
He did some fly shit.
All right, it was fly. So is it fly?
It's not fly. It's not fly. What are you saying? You think it's fly?
No. I think it's just like I just don't see where the cool is in that. Like, I just don't, like, I just don't think that it's cool. I think it's kind of corny. I just don't like. It's not even corny. It's just like, why?
That's my question.
Is why? Yeah. I'm not like really even clowning, dude. I'm just like, why?
Why would I do that? Like, why would you go out of your way to do that? Like, you being nice? Is it a nice thing? Is it petty? Like, I don't know. There's too many questions there. Just no. Just why? It ain't fly.
So he's as cool as I thought he was, which is not very cool. Yeah, makes sense.
I don't believe that story either. I believe Soulja Boy over Maul.
That's a wild thing to say. That is a very, very wild thing to say. Okay, how about this? This is a piggyback with Kevin Samuels. Similar type of conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Samuels, a demon. You got something to say about men paying for everything? Let's see if you agree.
But you don't want to put the work in. You don't want to build the resume. You don't want to actually have it where it counts to have the real leverage. You want her to respect your masculinity and your manhood because you have a penis and an XY chromosome. It don't work that way. Women respect resources. You can't check a bitch because you got nothing to check with. The only place you dominate is in the bedroom. Dominate on the balance sheet. Dominate on your wallet, which is your accomplishments. Any woman that you choose to deal with, her money should be no good with you if you're 100% man. You pay everything. Why? Because it keeps her in her feminine when she's with you. I don't give a shit. The women I deal with, they know I don't care what you do when you're not.
So, tell me what you think. Fact, fiction? Is there like a little bit of truth, a little bit of what are you feeling?
I gotta go fiction on that one. Bro. So I don't buy that one person is the, bears the financial responsibility in a relationship, man or woman. That's not on one person to do in a relationship. So that's completely fiction to me. What do you think?
It's not completely, it's not like completely fiction. It's just, I believe that the facts that he mentioned was you shouldn't, like, if you cannot take care of yourself, if you cannot provide resources, then it's just like, I don't understand why you're dating. Not necessarily like I'm saying it's the man's responsibility to take care of anything and everything, but I'm just saying, like, let's just say, like, I'm unemployed, there's a negative dollar amount to my name, but I want to go and take a girl on a date.
How you doing that?
Well, yeah, you got to be able to, like, provide something.
I mean, fair. Actually, no, counterpoint. Counterpoint to that is you don't have to, a date doesn't have to cost you money. That's a misconception. You don't have to go on a date that costs you money. You can go on a date and spend $0 and still have a fantastic time.
I've never done zero, but tell me how you do it.
Bro, a date doesn't have to be a destination, right? It doesn't have to be spending on whatever. A date is really the two of you spending time together. So you find a way to do that within your means. You could do something in a park. You can go walk.
I know. I thought about the park, but I thought about the Aperol spritzes that I would bring. So that's already like $12.
But what's wrong with just having a conversation somewhere? You know what I mean? You're doing
just a conversation with no consumables.
You can. Why not? Why not?
I mean, it depends on the couple, to be honest. You can't rule out anything, but like realistically, it's hard for me to imagine like somebody getting into their dating bag and not ready to pay for a damn thing.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. But
you gotta be like, to me, I might not be like, there might be times where it's just like, okay, I'm not expecting to blow a bag and go off on this date.
Right.
But like, you sometimes might gotta be ready to if it comes to it. I think if you can't, maybe you shouldn't.
But why not?
Not that I'm saying if you can't ball out. I'm saying if you cannot provide enough means to create a great date, then don't. And if you're saying, because I'm telling you that I can't imagine myself spending $0 on a date and being an amazing date.
Yeah.
If you can figure it out, then you've done better than I can. But I'm just saying, if you cannot provide what can become like the means to create a really good date, you shouldn't be dating.
See, I disagree with that. And like, what's wrong with communicating? See, I can't even communicate. What's wrong with communicating that, hey, this is my situation right now. Look, I'd love to take you out, but I want to be upfront and honest with you. This is my situation right now. If she's with it, or if he or she's with it, cool. If they're not, that's cool too. But you got to put it out there. At least let them know what the situation is. And if they're still down to go on this date with you and to kick it with you, and knowing that you ain't got $1 to your name, then that works, right? I just think you can't rule out the situation. You can't rule out that and say, if you don't have it, if you don't have the money, you don't have the resources, don't be in the dating game. Because not everyone's got the money or the resources.
If you don't have the money or the resources, your creativity got to be through the roof. That's all I'm saying. Because my creativity is good, is solid, but I guess apparently because I can't think of a date that costs $0, it's not through the roof.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I live for $0 days. Like, I actually love the days when
I want you to tell me what is a $0 date. Like, I've been trying to figure out what the $0 date is. Like, and it doesn't count. Like, if you already have your girl and you just say, hey, babe, let's go for a walk, that doesn't count.
I'm not just saying that's what it is, though. I'm just giving you an example. You could do stuff like that. Like, are you okay? How technical are we going to get here? Because I'm saying you could do something where you use resources you already have, and not talking money, but let's say it's things that are in your possession. Like, you want to make a picnic, like a meal for a picnic. You want to Do something athletic. Maybe you go out.
Don't get too technical with it, but there are things you can do.
Yeah.
So I do have a projector, and I probably have some food in the fridge.
Right.
Maybe a couple drinks.
Right.
Okay, fine.
Right.
It can happen. Found it.
Exactly. So
I'm just saying, because to me, I was like, when I'm about to go on a date, I'm like, I gotta go get the things. That's just my thought when I'm thinking about getting like
smart, man. You gotta use what you already have. You know what I mean?
I didn't have
it. Kevin Samuels was wrong though, bro. Like, I don't know. His takes are so
wild. They're so drastic, and I think that they're from like more so for like reaction clicks and all of that stuff than like him actually feeling like he's providing a service to the world to make us a better situation. Like,
do you think he's real? Do you think he's actually like this in real life, or it's just a persona?
I think it's a persona. Like it's a persona, but it's also him to a certain degree. Like, I don't think he's completely fake. I think he's just like, he's this dude that is very particular about his relationships. He's just basically saying like, this is just how it is to me, and dating as per my experience. But he's also a smart enough person, a smart enough man that has been a professional. And I don't know exactly what he's been up to for the past 50 years, but I feel like he's been up to some stuff where he's applying past situations and ventures to this, where he's created this niche. And I'm that guy that just says shit that you're not supposed to say. Like, you know, he early on, he was the guy that was saying, if a girl called his show or whatever, he'd be like, no, you're chubby, you're fat. And that's something that you're not allowed to say as a man, regardless if it's true or not. But he was the guy that was like saying, you know what? People are going to look at my shit. They're going to engage with it if I'm going to be the guy that's going to say it. And I feel like there's some of that with him, but there is definitely truth to me in terms of who he is as a person. Like, I don't think he's like a polarizing opposite from what we're seeing.
Interesting. I'm not completely sold on him, but I hear what you're saying, man. I agree with that.
Man, that guy's a wild boy. But I don't know. I would love to run into him in real life. I have so many.
That's what I'm saying.
So many questions.
I would love to have him on the pod. We're gonna put that out there.
Throw him on the list and then
throw him on the list.
Yo, we had Kevin Samuels on the pod. That is my favorite moment of all time.
Top 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The world general speaking.
Yes. Patrick Dennis Jr. on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow. Appreciate it, y'all.
Shop like Shaq. You waste you.
Shaq with a K. Don't forget to support BGC Kid Club Day, which is July 28th on the Wednesday.
Yep. $2 from every meal. Two-piece meal goes to the club, so make sure you support it.
That's with the hype. That's with the hype.
Hey.
C'est fini.